Have you ever wondered why some people walk into a room and instantly command respect, while others keep talking, explaining, defending themselves, and still get ignored? Why do some people seem untouchable, calm, and powerful, even when others try to provoke them? The truth is uncomfortable. Power is not always about speaking louder, arguing better, or proving yourself right. Sometimes, real power is the ability to stay silent, to ignore, to refuse participation in games that drain your energy. And if you stay with this message until the end, you will understand how mastering this single skill can protect your peace, sharpen your focus, and quietly give you control over situations that once controlled you. Most people wake up every day reacting to messages, reacting to opinions, reacting to criticism, reacting to drama. Someone says something negative, and their whole mood collapses. Someone ignores them, and they start chasing validation. Someone challenges them, and they rush to defend themselves. Little by little, their emotions become remote, controlled by everyone around them. And the worst part, they don't even notice it happening. Attention is the most valuable currency in modern life, not money, not status, attention. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. And wherever your energy goes, your life grows. But most people give their attention away cheaply. They respond to every insult. They argue in every comment section. They try to fix every misunderstanding. They keep explaining themselves to people who never intended to understand them in the first place. And slowly, without realizing it, they lose their power. Because when someone can easily get a reaction from you, they control you. They know exactly which button to press. One negative comment ruins your day. One dismissive message makes you anxious. One criticism keeps you awake at night. And now your peace depends on someone else's behavior. But look at the people who truly move forward in life. The ones building businesses, the ones chasing goals, the ones transforming their lives. They don't react to everything. They don't argue with everyone. They don't waste energy proving their worth. They understand something crucial. Not every battle deserves participation. Ignoring is not weakness. It is selection. It is deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Imagine carrying a limited amount of energy every single day. Every argument drains it. Every unnecessary explanation drains it. Every emotional reaction drains it. By evening, you feel exhausted, not because of hard work, but because of emotional battles you never needed to fight. Now imagine protecting that energy. Someone tries to provoke you. You stay calm. Someone spreads negativity. You stay focused. Someone doubts you. You keep working. Slowly, people realize they cannot control you anymore. And something strange happens. Respect grows. Because people instinctively respect those who respect their own time and emotions. The harsh truth is that many people don't want solutions. They want reactions. They want attention. Drama feeds them. Your anger feeds them. Your defense feeds them. The moment you stop reacting, the game ends. They lose interest because the reward disappears. And suddenly, you are free. Freedom begins the moment you stop giving unlimited access to your emotions. When you stop feeling responsible for everyone's opinion. When you stop responding to every message that pulls you away from your purpose. Silence becomes your shield. Focus becomes your weapon. Ignoring doesn't mean you don't care about people. It means you care about your peace. It means you understand that your future is too important to be distracted by temporary noise. You stop arguing with strangers. You stop chasing approval. You stop trying to convince people who already decided not to understand you. And something powerful happens inside you. Your mind becomes quieter. Your goals become clearer. Your confidence grows because it no longer depends on external validation. The people who once distracted you begin to fade into the background. And your real priorities move to the front. This is where power begins. Not in loud responses, not in endless explanations, but in controlled silence, in choosing your battles wisely, in understanding that your attention is precious. And once you realize this, you will never give it away cheaply again. Once you begin protecting your attention, something interesting starts to happen. The people around you begin to react differently. Some become confused. Some become irritated. Others suddenly try harder to pull you back into conversations and conflicts you once entertained. And this reaction reveals a deep psychological truth about human behavior. People fear being ignored more than being confronted. Every human being carries a deep need to feel seen, heard, and acknowledged. From childhood, attention becomes a form of emotional validation. Approval feels like safety. Recognition feels like belonging. And because of this, many people unconsciously chase attention wherever they can get it. Some seek it through success. Others seek it through drama. That is why arguments often escalate. Not because solutions matter, but because attention does. When someone criticizes you, challenges you, or creates conflict, they are often seeking emotional engagement. They want a reaction. They want proof that they still affect you. And when you refuse to react, something unexpected happens. The emotional reward disappears. Think about how often people push your buttons. They question your decisions. They mock your ambitions. They bring up past mistakes. Not always because they hate you, but because your reaction entertains them or reassures them. Your frustration gives them a sense of influence. It makes them feel powerful. But silence breaks this pattern. When you ignore unnecessary criticism, when you refuse to participate in drama, people are forced to face themselves instead of feeding on your emotions. And many cannot handle that. So they try harder, they provoke more, they gossip, they accuse you of being distant or arrogant. They say you've changed. And the truth is you have. You are no longer easily controlled. Toxic people survive on emotional reactions. They create chaos because chaos keeps them at the center of attention. But when you stop responding, their influence weakens. The spotlight moves away from them. And without realizing it, you expose their true intentions. Silence becomes your most powerful response, because arguments rarely change minds. Drama rarely solves problems, and constant explanations rarely earn respect. Instead, calm detachment shows strength. It shows that your peace matters more than winning temporary battles. This doesn't mean ignoring everyone or becoming cold. It means recognizing when engagement is pointless. Some conversations are traps disguised as discussions. Some people don't want understanding. They want conflict. And every time you step into that arena, you lose energy you could have invested in your own growth. Strong individuals understand this. They choose which voices deserve their attention. They walk away from emotional manipulation. They allow people to misunderstand them rather than exhausting themselves trying to correct every opinion. And over time, something shifts. The people who respected you only when you reacted begin to disappear. Meanwhile, the people who truly value your presence remain, because real relationships do not require constant emotional drama to survive. Ignoring negativity is not cruelty, it is clarity. It is understanding that not every voice deserves a response, and not every opinion deserves space in your mind. And the moment people realize they can no longer control your emotions, your presence becomes stronger without you saying a single word. The true test of power is not in confrontation, but in discipline. Ignoring people is not about hatred, revenge, or coldness. It is about control. Control over your mind, your focus, and your emotions. Every time you react impulsively, you hand over pieces of yourself to someone else. Every time you argue out of anger or defend yourself out of fear, you give your energy away for free. But when you learn to stay detached, to observe without reacting, you reclaim what is rightfully yours, your inner strength. Detachment is not apathy. It is emotional intelligence. It is the ability to respond to life with intention rather than impulse. Think about it. Successful people, leaders, and visionaries are rarely the ones who argue the loudest or retaliate the fastest. They are the ones who maintain calm while chaos rages around them. They have learned the ruthless discipline of choosing their reactions carefully. Every response is deliberate. Every action is purposeful. Nothing is wasted on unnecessary battles. Imagine receiving criticism that would have once thrown you into hours of self-doubt. Imagine someone attempting to provoke you, but instead of reacting, you stay calm, observe, and let it pass. That calmness is magnetic. It signals strength. It signals that your energy is not available for cheap consumption. And people notice. Some will admire it, others will envy it. All will respect it because deep down, everyone recognizes the courage it takes to remain unmoved. Ignoring does not happen overnight. It requires practice and patience. Your instincts will push you to react. Old habits will demand a defense. The mind will scream for justice or recognition. But every time you pause, every time you step back, you exercise a muscle that grows stronger with each use. The muscle of emotional sovereignty. You learn to decide who deserves your attention, and more importantly, who does not. This discipline creates space in your life for what truly matters. Your goals, your growth, your peace. The time and energy, once wasted on unnecessary arguments, toxic opinions, and constant validation, now flow toward your purpose. You are no longer a participant in every drama. You are no longer a prisoner to every opinion. Instead, you are free to focus on what elevates you. Detachment also allows clarity. When emotions are removed from a situation, decisions become sharper, thoughts become clearer, and actions become more effective. You begin to see people and situations as they are, not as your fears or insecurities make them appear. You stop overanalyzing, over-explaining, and overreacting. You start acting with precision rather than reaction. The people who once demanded your energy will eventually either respect your boundaries or fade away. Toxic patterns cannot survive in the presence of indifference. Drama loses its power when it no longer entertains. Manipulation fails when it cannot provoke. And in the silence you maintain, you discover a quiet yet unstoppable force, the power of being emotionally untouchable. Every decision to ignore, every moment of detachment, every refusal to react unnecessarily strengthens this power. It is not flashy. It does not demand attention. But it is relentless. It builds over time. And when mastered, it gives you something more valuable than temporary victories or loud arguments. The unshakable peace and focus to control your life and your destiny. Ignoring, when practiced with discipline, becomes the ultimate form of self-respect. You protect your energy. You protect your time. You protect your future. And in doing so, you demonstrate the kind of power that words, arguments, and reactions can never match. The moment you understand this, detachment transforms from a strategy into a lifestyle. It becomes the armor that shields you from negativity, the compass that guides you toward purpose, and the quiet strength that ensures no one ever holds your emotions hostage again. When you master the discipline of ignoring, life begins to change in ways most people never imagine. Suddenly, the noise that used to dominate your mind, the criticism, the gossip, the constant demands for attention, starts to fade. What once felt urgent now feels irrelevant. The people who thrived on your reactions lose their grip. And in that quiet, something remarkable happens. Your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, and your energy is finally yours to use as you choose. Ignoring is not about avoidance. It is about choosing where your energy goes. Every moment you spend reacting to someone else's drama is a moment stolen from your own life. Every argument, every explanation, every attempt to prove yourself consumes energy that could have been invested in growth, in learning, in building your dreams. By refusing to engage unnecessarily, you take back control. You decide what matters and what doesn't. You decide which voices shape your life and which fade into the background. This choice transforms your relationships. People who respect you will adjust to your boundaries. They will learn that your time and attention are not free, and they will value them even more. People who are toxic or manipulative will lose influence over you. Their ability to control your emotions, provoke anxiety, or distract you disappears. And when the noise fades, you start seeing clearly who truly supports you, who is worth your energy, and who was never meant to be part of your journey. Confidence begins to grow in ways words cannot describe. Because when you are no longer seeking approval, your sense of self becomes independent. You stop asking for validation. You stop bending to fit someone else's expectations. Your value is no longer determined by the reactions you receive, but by the strength of your own focus and the integrity of your actions. Ignoring becomes a form of self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of true power. Opportunities that once went unnoticed now come into focus. Without the distraction of meaningless drama, your mind is free to think, plan, and act. You see solutions where others see problems. You take risks when others hesitate. You invest your energy in creation rather than destruction. Life begins to reward the clarity and calm that you have cultivated, and the results are unstoppable. Even challenges and criticism lose their sting. When negativity no longer triggers a reaction, it loses its power. Words that once hurt now bounce off you like water off steel. Manipulation fails because the fuel it relies on, your reaction, is gone. Silence, calm observation, and focused action replace impulsive defense. And in this state, every move you make is deliberate, powerful, and free from the chains of emotion-driven distraction. The most important transformation, however, is internal. Peace becomes your constant companion. Anxiety fades. Overthinking diminishes. You sleep easier, because your mind is not consumed by the endless chase for validation or the endless cycle of drama. Your energy, once scattered, becomes concentrated, and in this concentration, your growth accelerates. Your goals, your health, your relationships, and your ambitions flourish because you are finally operating from a place of strength rather than reaction. Ignoring is more than a tactic, it is a lifestyle. It is the silent, unstoppable force that allows you to protect your focus, your energy, and your peace. And when mastered, it does something extraordinary. It changes how the world sees you. People begin to respect you not because you demand it, but because you cannot be easily shaken. They sense your strength, your clarity, and your independence. And this is the most ruthless form of power there is, the power to control yourself, and through that, to control the way life responds to you. When you choose to ignore what does not serve you, you create space for what does. You prioritize your peace, your focus, and your growth. You let go of the trivial, the toxic, and the draining. And in that space, life begins to open doors that were once hidden. You become untouchable, unstoppable, and undeniably powerful, because your energy belongs only to you.